Because they are mother of all nations, bearer of life.
Yeah.
My friend. I always forgetting that word. My woman, my wife, my woman. Yeah, that one. That was a little tribute there in honor of the first principal at St. Augustine, first female principal, Rosemary Antoine. That happened this week, so that's good to see. Nonetheless, all good. Anyway. Hey everybody, how are we doing? Welcome to another edition of The Living Room. You're here with us here on We Global platform. This is The Living Room. As usual, it's me, Andrea, my good friends Philip and Mark, and we just love to have Caribbean conversations. If this is your first time on, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on Facebook, do us a favor, ring the bell, hit subscribe so you can come back again. Tag, what I said last week, 10 friends? Tag at least 10 friends. Tag at least 10 friends and get them coming and have a conversation with us. This is what we do every Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you are. Just have good old Caribbean conversation in the living room. So let's get to it. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, doing well. Doing all right.
Doing well. Yeah,
pretty good.
I mean, there's green or black there, Philip?
Me, that wearing?
You wearing? I can't.
You're on in the very dark green there, though.
Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah, dark. Forest green.
Forest green. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Wow.
But this is true. He's switching it up on me now every week. Now.
Yeah. He's trying to say he's changing up the wardrobe.
Yeah. He clearly went shopping for the summer.
No, just go with clean.
Is it?
It is that simple.
What clean and what press?
Exactly.
That's what it is.
You press your shirt for this show, though?
Sometimes I would. Yeah.
Wow.
This is what you don't, Mark.
I get there yet.
Oh yeah. Oh, so right now that's why you're saying I'm a bit far from the camera that we can't see the wrinkles.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
That's whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, that's all right.
Phil down there look like cafe. Press real good too.
We can't see the bottom. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. But we want to get to this week.
Press filter for you.
It was a good.
Hey, Jennifer.
Pretty, as we. I looking forward to the bank holiday more than anything else, to be honest.
Very true.
Very, very, very true. To be honest with you, I didn't get too much this week, but the thing that had me was this thing that going on in the BVI with Andrew Fahey, Maynard, and Kadeem. Let me tell you, reading this thing is something else, because I woke up and the court documents landed in WhatsApp. From a good source, and reading this thing, man, was just something else, man. Hey, Valerie, was something I was like, what?
People just phone you up,
but I can't understand.
Breaking stories.
Why? Listen, the WhatsApps be going crazy now these days here. But I tell them this and that kind of show. we ain't doing that. Hey, but yeah, but that one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just a lot of things came out there. So I mean, the greed, the hubris of it all, the overconfidence of it all, and then what seemed to be the stupidity. And I thought it was stupidity until you read in the affidavit where the guy Kadeem said he'd been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, what?
It's frightening stuff.
It is real frightening stuff, man. It's unbelievable. And I see the UK government now saying, well, to be fair, it's interesting because they had a paper that was from last year where the UK government was talking about taking back direct control of the BVI.
No, they will not be hesitating now, will they?
And now they sent on a minister just yesterday to see what's going on now to perhaps take over control of the whole thing. Yeah. So this was... It was just crazy reading. It was crazy reading, man.
It was. I was disappointed on so many fronts when I read that, and it really made me wonder. Okay, so this one has been exposed, but is there something more deep rooted here that is happening beneath the surface that we don't know across the region?
Regionally,
our islands are very susceptible to these type of crimes, and it really made me sit up and took notice of, wow, this is serious stuff. But I have to say, as serious as it was, when I got the paragraph 34 of the affidavit, I couldn't help but burst out laughing.
I burst out.
My man said, let us say a prayer.
Let us pray. When he was talking with the CIA, I was like, this guy for real? and the other part that had me laughing too was when he asked the guy are you an agent?
Yeah.
And the guy obviously gave an answer. They said no. And then the guy said, cause I have a very sixth sense for people when they're telling the truth. And I did, huh? This man, I was like, on many fronts, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. And to be the head of state, and to, first of all, to do it, but then the stupidity of getting directly involved in that kind of stuff. Thank you, Angela. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But to your point, yeah, it make you wonder what's going on right across the region.
What else is at play? You know?
Yeah. It does make you wonder. You know, you had the Port Authority person, her son, and then, you know, the Premier or BVI directly involved.
We will send in some fake drugs just to give you some headlines that you can celebrate. I mean, this stuff, man, this stuff is crazy.
Seriously, I mean, you can laugh a little bit because you just couldn't believe what you were reading. I took the time to read it all, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah. Man, I read the whole thing, Angela.
Yeah, man. Listen, if you haven't read the whole thing, Angela, trust me, read the entire document. And then the part that gets you is that you know that there's a lot more probably on the tapes that was left out, right? And you just reading this thing, and I just could not believe what I was reading. I just couldn't believe how, you know, how the guys get in cars, fly to Miami, do all this craziness, going in the planes, see the money. I was like, and then I think I put up on my Facebook that people need to learn the meaning of the word conspiracy. Because when the guy got off the plane and got arrested on the tarmac, he said, I don't have no money. I don't have no drugs. I don't have anything on me. What am I being arrested for? And I did like, oh, gosh. this man, clearly, you wonder, well, how he become premier?
And he said they've been trying to get me arrested for a long time, trying to get me up for a long time, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't talk, let me chill out. You know, it was bad. It was bad reading. Interesting reading. It was an amazing read, to be honest with you. Not necessarily amazing from a good perspective. It was just fascinating reading to see the things that they got involved in, the openness in which they were willing to conduct the business, and the fact that they were bragging that, hey, we've been at this for 20 years. 20 years. That was unbelievable. But
I think Angela just reminded us something else that we celebrated this week too. 2 years.
2 years. Very much so. This is 2 years of doing the show. Yeah. Excellent. Happy birthday, gentlemen. Well, yeah, and then of course, Corbin, happy birthday to you. You celebrated your weekend a couple of days ago as well.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Don't go to ask.
Don't worry about that.
No. we will let people. He's as old as he looks. He's as old as he looks. So if y'all think he's 22, he's 22.
I'll take it, man.
He'll take 22. He'll take 22.
It's great to be able to reflect on our 2 years, you know, and the people that we've met in the conversations that we've had. That's fabulous. That's really, really fabulous.
Loads of good conversations. I saw people on the page reflecting as well on some of the shows that they thought were their favorites, whether it was Michael Holding's show, Mikey Gabby, talking with Jennifer Houston as well, talking with Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. You know,
we should have run that 3 hours after the show with Gabby, and we would have still had a real show to go in.
Well, this is true. There's another 3 hours of the Gabby show that did not air. I agree, Angela. He's 22. That did not air, but plenty content there. And stuff, but no, we had a lot of good conversations, and while of course those were some highlights, I think obviously for me the breast cancer ones that we've had over the last couple of years, and just talking to ordinary West Indian people, just doing different things about different topics all across the region. So to me, hard to pick out a favorite, I think, but I would say the breast cancer one was probably up there, both of them, the first and the second one.
Looking forward to that in October
as well. Yeah, we can do something different. So watch this space for that show this time around. We can do it a little bit different this year. A little bit different.
Phil, I don't know if you got this also this week, because you know there was a little
what is this
little
now?
message that came around in the team chat. I don't know if you picked it up as well, Phil.
What was that?
About some growing of some stuff that's happening down there now.
Oh.
Down there.
See, you can't even get it up. See, that's when you want to think.
Yeah, man. I was trying to add it in there because I think it's important for people to be able to see how my man is turning his hand.
Progress.
Yeah.
See, but it didn't come in. It didn't come in.
It let him be done. I think
It
that
didn't come in.
Aye, man.
Oh, wait.
These are stages, or what happened in here?
Stages. On the right, let's
Let me
one
just
of
get
these
my-
things are not just like the others.
Don't
These
worry,
things are
Seth.
kind of the
Don't
same.
worry. Don't worry, Seth.
Only one is mine. The other two
Okay.
is pots of mud.
I'm
And
just Phil. Now you know it is a journey, right?
Is it?
It's always a
know
journey,
it is
yeah.
So you see, I got in the middle there. One of my pumpkins start to push through. Cause we had some good rain overnight, so that started to come up. And you have to look a little close, but the peppers, my sweet peppers, are also starting to push through.
right, if you squint,
The little red pots are the sweet peppers.
Yeah, each one of them is a sweet pepper seed that I planted. So
And the one in the middle, the green, leaf sticking up,
that's
that's
pumpkin.
pumpkin.
Yeah. So my man will have to tell you what he got there on the left.
that's my lettuce that's out, man.
Oh.
That's and then you have to depend on any rainwater. That's just tender loving care. Tender loving care. That's my lettuce coming out there looking all good. The beets in the other one behind, and then the carrots are coming. Don't worry about it. I'll send some up for you, man. I'll send some up for you. Whole Foods of London down here, man. Don't worry. The grotto. We looking good.
Yeah, you're looking good.
We looking good. Don't worry about it. Don't jealous me. Don't jealous me.
How the beats coming?
The beats coming good, man. Looking good. They're coming out. I can get out, send y'all a picture of them there when we done.
Okay.
Not a problem at all.
When you expecting to harvest?
Oh, that's still a little ways away. A little ways away. With manure, some water, love and care. I teach my boy a thing or two there, so
Listen to me, man.
you know how it is.
I learned a hard lesson with some. I just bought some little seedling plants. They're like vines. I just bought for the back garden as seedlings. I placed them in some pots, and I put some fertilizer in, watered them, everything. So I said, this should give me some good growth in the next few weeks.
Mhm.
The next day, the plants were brown. And I was surprised. I was like, what happened here?
And the
Farmer
reason,
answer that there for you, man. The farmer
Well,
has to diagnose that.
I can't diagnose by just that statement alone.
I went and I did
Clearly, something is wrong, though.
I went and did a bit of reading and found out what the problem was. Fertilizer. I was a bit too generous with my fertilizer.
You kill the plants, man.
Yes.
And it led to something called fertilizer burn. Which as I read deeper was really interesting. So apparently when it's still cold, plants will go into a sort of dormant state.
That's
If
very
you
true.
If you fertilize plants when they're not putting out shoots, you're just giving it stuff that they can't make any use of. So just going into the plant and burning up the nitrogen and whatever other chemicals.
You gain it food when it still need milk.
Ricky missed it.
There you
missed
go.
it. Yeah, you won't make that mistake next time. You won't make that mistake. We all live and learn.
had to
I never
wash
made that mistake, though, but anyway.
Wash out all the soil. Well, it's good. Learn these things.
Yeah, it's good to learn, you make these errors. You learn a thing. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that again. Good man.
Easy.
But look, one of the reasons we started this show 2 years ago is to have Caribbean conversations with Caribbean people about Caribbean people and to, tell our own stories, not waiting for others externally to tell us about ourselves when we should be having those discussions ourselves. And that's really why we started that show. We started in COVID and just to find out what was going on all across the region with COVID and not necessarily just waiting for 2 minutes at the end of a news to hear about another island or another Caribbean country or for someone external to tell us about what's happening in the Caribbean. We did it for ourselves. And then we also like to talk about our people and just some of the things that they're doing and talk to our people and some of the things that they're doing both in the region and externally as well outside the region. Because let me tell you, we as a region have plenty stories. Now we have plenty people who are doing some fantastic and amazing things right across the region. The issue sometimes is the country for which that person or persons may be from might know or sometimes don't know, but the rest of the region, we don't know. Not everybody's going to be a Rihanna. Not everybody is going to be a Bob Marley for the whole region to know. There's some other people doing some fantastic stuff, and we want to talk about it. And one such person that we have in today is Andrea McKenzie, who's an amazing artist, mix artists, or
Media.
mixed media artists, let me say that, out of Trinidad and Tobago, doing some fantastic work. And we thought it'd be great to have her in for a conversation, hear her journey, see what she's up to, and to let you guys see what she's up to and just talk to her a little bit. So we're looking forward to that conversation today.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to celebrate our people, man. That's why we are here, and try and make sure that we showcase the best of the region. And tell you what, Andrea is definitely up there with absolutely the best of the Caribbean. Fabulous work.
100% agree. So look, without any further ado, guys, we're gonna bring Andrea in, and as usual, give her a fantastic living room welcome. Let's bring her in.
Hi guys,
Hey,
Hello.
Hello, Andrea. How are you?
Andrea?
He's in.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, no problem. You saw those letters that were on the screen there earlier?
Listen to me.
Yeah. they're being
Go
so
ahead.
well looked after.
Man, I
You
wanna
saw
hear
how
what you have
bright
to say, Andrea.
they were.
Don't let him tell you anything. I want to
I
hear what
have
you
on
have to
money
say.
green, guys. This is money green, okay? This is
Just as green as my lettuce. Fantastic.
How are you, man? How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good.
well.
Welcome to the
Pleased to
living
have
room.
you in
It's great to
today.
have you. Yeah. So look, your journey is one that is fabulous and really amazing, and you're recognized in so many places now. But we want to go back a little bit with your story, Andrea, as young Andrea growing up in Trinidad. Now we've put on our page, you're award winning mixed media artist, and you're all over the place doing your work internationally. But we want to kind of take this story back to how things started and what were some of those early triggers to help you to actually get. And I know you're self-taught, so this is going to be
I am
fascinating.
self-taught.
So take us back.
Right.
Take us back
Take
to
us
young
back.
I
Andrea.
do come from a long lineage of creatives within my family. My dad was big into carnival in Trinidad. So even my grandmother, she used to paint and play the piano. So at an early age, I was exposed to building costumes and all these different things. And I used to paint, but quietly, not something I showed people, friends, etc. I just used to do it for fun.
Okay.
So yeah, and well, I didn't think art would have been a career at that time. So I went on to do business and marketing and work in a series of jobs in which I was heavily depressed in.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was very depressed. I don't know, I just was not feeling fulfilled. It was not me as a creative sitting down behind a desk. It just, but
So were you able to sort of identify that conflict and that tension from there, that you knew the reason you weren't feeling fulfilled is because you needed to be doing something creative?
well, situations in life push you towards your passion at times. And that's what happened to me because I was working at a particular company and I actually got fired. So
Ah.
when I
Oh,
got
okay.
fired,
What
they let
happened
me
there?
go. So I was walking through that compound, I was crying and just you feel lost at that stage because you're like, what is really my purpose? Do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? You start to self-reflect and ask yourself questions. Do I want to live in Trinidad? You know?
And
Wow.
you mentioned earlier you didn't see necessarily that you can do it as a living, or you didn't think you could. I wonder what fed into that, you think?
There's a big stigma around creatives, especially full-time painters, that, it's a dead end or it's a hobby or you cannot, make a sustained life. People don't see
Yeah.
that way. And I was like, listen, if God bless me with this natural gift, then he will make a way for me to live off of it. Like what's the point of giving me these gifts if I can't live off of it?
But even
But
coming from a creative family as a
Yeah.
child, you still had that sense.
yeah, because sometimes if you're not really doing the cultural thing in terms of carnival,
True.
Okay, got you.
then
Yeah.
what are you doing? Yes, they do have successful painters, but it's over some time. So what I did actually is I started to paint, just to get some stress off, which I usually used to do. My dad came by me and he saw the collection and he's like, I'm going to do an art exhibition for you. And I said, are you crazy? Because, it's just, you never expose yourself. People know you, for hanging out and the islands are and you go a fete and you do all these different things, but they don't really know the core of you.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
always tell people there's so many layers to people. People will shock you.
Yeah. People are they're complex.
True.
Right.
True.
So I did
Yeah.
that exhibition and I was like, you know what? I am going to commit to this. I am going to fulfill this dream because it was my grandmother's dream as well. She did not get to fulfill her dream. She stayed back and, take care of 17 children, which she had. And she always spoke about how it would be if she took the chance. So I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have nothing to lose.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I said, despite if it get hard, I will continue.
Yeah.
But I wanted more. Trinidad was too small.
Yeah, I like that. I like that your dad said that he's gonna do an exhibition for you using what you had.
Yeah.
What was that first exhibition like? Because sometimes people
Oh.
think I need to wait till I have this whole humongous collection or things are perfect to do something. But it felt like your dad was like, no, we're not waiting. We can do it now.
Well, actually, I had, I think, 15 to 18 pieces done
Okay.
because I was just painting and painting over time.
Yeah.
Right.
But the first collection was called Pieces of Me. And it was a collection of my journey from then till now, things that you've went through that you never spoke about. And yeah, it was therapeutic for me, actually.
A lot of people
To
came.
just release that. Oh yeah, people
Yeah.
came.
Oh wow.
I sold. I probably had 4 pieces left over. Everything
So you actually
sold.
sold your first, right? So there's an exhibition. Your dad said you should do an exhibition. You put
Yes,
it
I
on,
did it
and
at
you
a
sold
friend's
pieces at it.
place. Yeah, at the time,
Okay.
at one of my friends' places. People pitched in,
Mm.
and yeah,
And
it wasn't like
sometimes
a big fete, but people,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
people came.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
and I
really
was
interesting.
grateful.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, Andrea, because I know sometimes when we make that transition out of something that looks certain into something that is a little bit less certain, but it is who we are at heart, we don't always have the support of family because people can feel as though, I'm not so sure. Do you know what you're doing? How did you manage to battle that? Because clearly you had the support of family.
I mean, I had the support, but
Or you had the support
when
of dad.
it was time for me when I decided to move to Atlanta, that's when, people were like, are you crazy? Because, I never lived here before. I don't know what it was about. I used to go New York, DC, just traveling and stuff like that, but I lived off of a suitcase for 5 years. I was tired. I needed to, you know, I was building up my resume as well. So I needed to transition. And I will say this, your vision isn't for everybody. No one, not much people understand, not even friends, not even family, and that
True.
is okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
eventually, they're my biggest supporters. I love my family,
Oh, fabulous.
they're always there and they're very proud and stuff like that. But when you're going through that transition in your life, you have to go through it alone. Sometimes, you
Sometimes.
have to go through it alone. This is
Yeah.
beyond art to me. It
Yeah.
was like just growing into the woman I am, understanding what I want from what I don't want.
Yeah.
When you
Amazing.
live in an island, I feel like you're very protected because of how we live.
Yep.
You're very protective in that sense. So me stepping out on my own, taught
Big
to live on
decision.
my own because I have
Yeah.
nobody.
True.
Do or die.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
your aunt or your cousin. No, it's just different. So
But before you, in fact, go ahead, Phil. Jump in.
No, I was just gonna say, but by moving out of the island to Atlanta, do you still feel as though you're taking a lot of the island with you?
of course, I am an island woman. I represent myself in my shows. I mean, I have the accent. It's not going anywhere.
It's
That
still, yes,
alone,
that's true.
you know.
Long may it continue. I agree with that
Yeah, it's
100%.
reflected, in my work and how I speak and how I deal with people. And I think that is part of the attraction. And
Yeah.
not only Trinidad, in the Caribbean in itself.
Yep.
I've been supported by Bajans, Jamaicans. I mean, and I think that is what makes me stand out majorly here because it's
Wow.
different. So I'm very proud of my culture. I will never change anything about me,
Yeah. Good.
and it's always represented in my work.
So tell us a bit then about, you talk about your culture and your work, and it would be good to understand from your perspective really when we talk about mixed media, what that really means and what that means in relation to the culture that is Trinidad Carnival, because clearly that is the
Well,
root.
yeah, this piece was actually commissioned from someone in New York who is from the islands as well. And she saw that I built a headpiece, and she was like, I really want something to represent my culture, the flair, how we are free on Carnival. Because, yeah, we are free on those days. So I built that for her, you know. My
So
thing
when
is, go ahead.
no, go ahead, you go ahead. That's fine.
Sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was going to try to kind of understand very early in the conversation when we talk about mixed media.
Oh, let me
What does
explain
that
that to
actually
you.
mean? Because
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
people will
Mixed
understand
media
that.
art
Yeah.
is using a range of different materials to make
Right.
one picture or one piece. So you see, I use crushed glass, I use paint, I use feathers, gems, materials, cloth,
Okay.
wire, iron, anything that I could, construct into different images. So that's mixed media artwork.
And
I just use my own flair.
while you were self-taught, who inspired you regarding using those different materials and to create it the way you do?
My culture inspired me. I remember when I was younger, I had some bottles, Stag and Heineken and stuff back home, and I broke
Not
it
that you
into
were
little
drinking, of
pieces.
course.
No, of course not.
Of course. Okay.
Well, well, I mean, it would be a slip. Nobody
Let's
say
let.
no
Okay.
liquor though.
Okay. Okay. Look.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
we
Okay.
good. But I made a woman holding a baby, you know, with those little shavings of glass.
Wow.
I think my mom still has that, but
Oh
so it was
wow.
always there. And when you're constructing costumes and you building these big queen and king costumes, you're using different materials. You're using your brain. You
True.
have to make it move, and you gotta make sure that it has that flair about it as well. So I was like, listen, if I'm not going to make it here, if I'm going to stand out, then I have to accept myself for who I am and not try to fit in. Because when I first came here,
True.
I was doing painting, yes, and I was trying to fit in because I thought, well, this is what they're doing here.
Doing some
But
classical
then
stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but then I remember speaking to my mentor now, Kevin Sip, and he was like, no, you need to be you and do you. So I had to sit down and really think about that. And I'm like, the answer is right in front of my face, though, because
Right.
that's, you are being authentically you.
Hey,
These are things that I've done throughout my life.
yeah.
So I decided to incorporate it in my art.
So what
Amazing.
was happening in Atlanta that you decided to move to
I
Atlanta and
like
not?
Atlanta.
Well,
I
listen
like
to
it.
me.
Elsewhere?
I heard little
Uh-huh.
Brady told me that it's good for business,
Okay.
and I should try here now. And it's also affordable to live
To
to
live.
start.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
good
okay.
start. Besides New York and these places, so I decided to come here. I mean,
Yeah. I like.
when I first came, I was like, no, this is scary.
Yeah.
This is scary.
I like Atlanta. I went there once actually, and I just had a feeling of how comfortable it felt. And
Yeah.
then when I was speaking to an American friend of mine here that was living here in the UK, he said what you were feeling was that Atlanta is black wealth.
Yes, a
And while
lot
you
of
don't know it
successful
because you're a
black people.
foreigner, that's what you were feeling, why it felt so comfortable and why you were like, this place is
But a lot
amazing.
of successful Caribbean people here as well, you know. Yeah, in different jobs and stuff like that. I met quite a few. So, there's an islander everywhere.
Of course.
That is true.
Indeed.
But Atlanta was good for me. It wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow. A lot of opportunity, and I will say that it is it gave me my breakthrough
Okay. So
that
going
I
from
needed. Yeah.
fear, okay, you said you felt a little fearful when you got there. Going from
Yeah.
fear to
Of
start a
course, of
networking
course. I
and
mean,
connection, that
there's a
was
difference between going to America for 2 months, 3 months, four
Yep.
months than actually living. Then
actually
I
planning
have
to
to
live there. Yeah,
also
that's true.
learn the culture here. I have to learn about, taxes and credit and
Oh boy.
just, registering stuff. We're being realistic here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
this is not dream selling. This is actually living
Yeah.
here. So it
And
was
and
tough.
how did you? Because that must have been very intimidating. I'm going to imagine.
Of
You know.
course, I came here and I started to cry because I was
Oh
like,
wow.
Yeah.
"This
Well,
is
tell us about that actually.
I mean, it was like a culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
You are now in a space whereby you are completely by yourself in a whole different country, and
Yeah.
you're a woman.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that is such a serious, fear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
There's no protection. There's
Mm-hmm.
no daddy, mommy, cousins. Not that you're not adult, but there's no safe space.
In fact, let's talk about that a bit more actually, because you're a beautiful Caribbean woman, right?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let me open up the conversation. And I have no doubt that that will be challenging, because not only are you coming into a space that is intimidating to you, but you're probably coming into a space that people might have particular perceptions, and they might want to push your boundaries and your limits. How did you manage to navigate that?
I mean, you know, good thing is you're book smart and you're street smart. Not that
Okay.
you come from an island, you're closed off.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to navigate certain things, but it's also to not get caught up with lifestyles.
That's
You
good.
know,
Yeah.
um, you could get caught up with different scenarios. So my thing is, I came here. Um, I have a certain amount of time to make things happen. So I let absolutely nothing discourage me, distract me.
Distract you.
I
Yeah.
I kept my eye on the prize, and I always tell people, forget what's going on around you. You focus on what you came to do. You know, so I always kept that in the back of my mind,
Wow.
Yeah.
What about?
I,
always.
I find the Caribbean grounding helps with that a lot.
Of course,
When I look around at even a lot of my friends who are here who grew up in the Caribbean and then came a little bit older, we got a purpose, a plan, and I find more
Yeah, you
often than
gotta
not
make it
we tend to
happen.
be to work that plan.
Yeah,
And it's
then
that
to
grounding of identity in the Caribbean that I find that is a real asset when you come out.
not only that, but in my big old age, my parents will still tell me something like, "Girl, what is wrong with
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
how we are and how we communicate. And you're right, the values and the things that you learn. Um, Luckily, I came up here, and I was already mature. You understand what I'm saying? I
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't too
yeah.
young to get all crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
I had
yeah.
a plan, and this is what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that it still had people watching me and depending on me then, younger creators, to make it.
Yeah.
So and that's my point, because I
You're on
want to
mute,
show
Mark.
them that, listen, you could make it.
Mm.
And how did you deal with rejection in those
Oh
early
my
days?
God,
Because
I was
I would
a
imagine
hot
that
mess.
must, yeah.
I was a hot
Tell
mess
us
in the
more. Well,
early
tell us
years.
about that. Tell
How
us about
many
that.
how many
I was,
times you said I going home?
Yeah.
let's say honestly, twice or three times. I was crying and I can't do this, and you know, I had one conversation with my mentor that actually changed my whole life because he was like, "Listen, I promise you, what you have, you are going to make it, but you have to stay the course.
Yeah.
You have to stay. It just takes that one time,
Yeah.
you know." And I was like, okay, because you have that moments of doubt. I mean, I'm
Of
human.
course.
You
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
rejected. Nobody wants to show you your stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But he actually gave me my first showing in the mayor's office at the
Yeah.
time, Keisha
Okay.
Lance Bottom. And, you know, that really taught me a lot because I got rejected from 5 shows and then there's this big one breakthrough presented in my face, you know, that highlighted and started my career in Atlanta in a big way. So, you know, it was just a lot. But after, you know, after some time, if my art isn't accepted or if I'm not accepted on a show, I've learned that that's probably not the right opportunity for me. So I
Okay.
let it go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Makes make a
Because
lot of sense.
I mean, yeah, something better always comes along. So I don't, you know, it is what it is.
Do you still pay attention to the artistic landscape of the region?
Mm, sometimes.
So oh.
Sometimes. Listen, guys, I have a lot going on.
No, I know, I
I
Yeah,
know.
gotta,
that's fair.
I gotta, you know, create new stuff. I gotta, you know, and how my mind works as well. It's, you know, I'm constantly going. I'm constantly thinking, you know. Sometimes you might say I might be closed off from certain things.
Yeah.
Just that I'm in that mood
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
stuff done, you know. So it takes a lot out of someone sometimes.
So what does a day look like for you? A typical
Oh,
day, or
well,
is
I wake
that
up.
something that doesn't exist?
It does exist, you know. I do try to take care of myself. So I'll go to the gym, of course, you know, you wake up, you say prayers, you go to the gym, I try to work out. Just take care of myself as well. Because if I'm not good, nothing
Yeah, I
is
agree.
gonna happen, you know. Sometimes I may be working on 3 paintings at the same time or, you know, interchange or yeah.
How do you
I
do that?
gotta
How do you
try
work
to
on three
integrate
different
those.
pieces at the same time?
Well, I personally may draw out all three first and then, you know, start piece by piece. It all depends. If one is giving me too much trouble, I'll leave it alone and come back with fresh eyes. That's what I call it. Sleep on it and come back.
Yeah.
Because not, you know, when you're doing a particular commission for someone and they want something specific, you know, that's on you
True.
to make that come to life. So that's pressure as well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
you
yeah.
know. So you gotta make sure that what the idea that they come up with, that's what they want.
So
It could be a
how would
little
that
taxing.
that
I can
process
imagine.
from commission to product, or your painting, your mixed media painting? What does that look like? Does a person come to you and say exactly what they want, or do you have a
Not all of the
conversation?
time. Sometimes, you know, clients may say, Andrea, I want something of enlightenment or
Okay, so
powerful,
just give you a
or,
theme.
you know, that's one way. Others, like I did something called the middle passage for a client. They wanted an image reflecting the middle passage, right? Yes, I know about slavery, but I didn't really know the entire story. Good
Okay.
enough that this person he emailed me writings on it and images of the middle passage, right? So I painted a slave breaking his shackles with ancestors in between his body,
Mm.
you know,
Wow.
bleeding to break free, and the sky opening up
Yeah.
with the ships at the bottom. Now, my thing is, I'm not going to paint anything I don't understand.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not doing it. When the whole George Floyd thing happened, I was terrified as hell because I was never exposed to
Mm.
that. In the
Yeah.
Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
we never sat down and have a conversation about racism,
Mm-hmm.
Not in that way, yeah.
which not
Correct.
in that way, if you get
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
deep
yeah.
like
With
that,
you.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
and I think that's something that parents should start to implement,
Mm-hmm.
especially if your child is going away to college
Yeah.
or have
Mm.
desires to do international things.
Yeah.
Mm.
You have to prepare your child for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, on that platform, I was getting attacked about it as an artist that I'm not painting this and I haven't said anything. And my
Right.
thing
Wow.
about it is, I was seriously shocked, you
Mm.
know, and I started to read and educate myself about it.
Yeah.
And I decided to paint things more positivity.
Mm-hmm.
So I explained to my followers that, listen, I'm not about to paint things I don't understand.
Yeah.
True.
I'm not, this is not, when as an artist, you have a responsibility
Yeah.
of when you cross that, boundary that you have to explain and stand up for yourself
Mm.
Mhm.
because some
Yeah.
people will come for you,
True.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah. Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Mentally,
I get it.
this is not just a paint an image and I sell it. You have
Mm.
a responsibility to society now and
Mm-hmm.
their views. Is that something you're willing to deal with?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think
Especially in this stage of social media. Sorry to cut
Mhm.
you.
no, 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 not at all. I really like what you said there about, painting stuff that you haven't necessarily experienced or understand, and you got to understand. And even in the George Floyd one, that's interesting because going back to what you said earlier, that sometimes in the Caribbean, because of how we live our island life, we
Mhm.
might grow up a little bit protected on certain things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even here in the UK, when the George Floyd stuff happened, I think, and this is just echoing what you said, I think a lot of people at work and what have you that I might be around probably expected me to express in a certain way. When actually, I was kind of now, as a West Indian who had moved to the UK, kind of now seeing these kind of things happening in this
Exactly. And
way.
you're shocked.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
We processing it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You
exactly,
don't know.
so a lot of the times in the office I've had to tell people, this is honestly, I've been here for 20 years or so, but still in my head I still find it hard to come to grips of someone categorizing me as a
Mm-hmm.
minority.
Ethnic
Yeah.
minority.
Listen
Mhm.
to
And
me.
I can't
I
get my
go through
head
that all
around
of the
that.
time.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
because
know
you're
what I
not
mean?
accustomed to that.
No.
No.
It's mind-boggling. And I
Yeah.
tell them, I said, listen, island life, no, it's not like that. But I think in 2022, that Caribbean parents should have that conversation.
Mm.
You have to have that conversation with your child before they pack and jump on a plane and go elsewhere. Because
Mm.
let's be real, you don't know if they're gonna come back.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Because we go in our
You know?
confidence, right? And unfortunately, that
Exactly.
might mean we might say, do, or go somewhere in our confidence that,
Right. And it might
you know what I mean?
offend,
Mm-hmm.
it might offend
Yeah.
someone.
Mm.
And that's the culture, so many cultural differences.
Yeah.
Mm.
I find myself holding back at times because I'm like, this might be laughed at in Trinidad, but this they're not gonna find it funny here.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 With
Yeah.
you.
So you have
Oh,
to change your whole aspect, but that situation taught me a lot. But one thing I did, I stood in my truth
mm.
because nobody is not gonna one bully me,
I like
make
that.
me do something I don't wanna do. You
True.
know, I'm staying authentic to me. It's either you like it or you don't. And I
Mm.
did get my supporters actually, and I was
Mm.
shocked by the
Mm.
amount of people that supported me. So I paint positive things. I had love over
Mhm.
hate. I painted Black Women Lives Matter. I'm passionate about women as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
I stay in my lane. I
Mm.
have
That's fair.
other art friends that they went full force. They're American, and I support them and I
Mm-hmm.
repost their stuff, and that's things that they experience.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So
Mhm.
they
That's
could
Mhm.
so
speak their
true.
truth.
Yeah.
So
They could
true.
speak their truth,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
and I support them. I repost it.
Yeah.
You have to. But to me, I feel like let me stay in my lane.
No, there's a beautiful authenticity about that.
I
And I
agree.
think, yeah, there's something you have to really respect there. How did you work through the pandemic? How have you found? how
Well,
did
listen to
COVID
me.
treat you as an artist?
I will say that my career catapulted in the pandemic. Don't ask me how. I think God is just probably great. I think people were bored at that time, so they paid so much more attention to social media. Um, Honestly, when it first happened, I was extremely scared
Yeah,
because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, how am I gonna survive? All I have is art, and if people don't
yeah,
have money, and
yeah.
but I had to spiritually come out of that mood and remember my roots, remember how I grew up, remember the things my grandmother, my mother, whoever taught me,
Mm-hmm.
and I just instantly blocked everything off and started to think positive, started to re-strategize my stuff, start to sell prints, which is more
Okay.
affordable, do little giveaways, discounts, stuff like that. Because you have to be realistic and adjust to your social climate as well.
True.
True.
So there's pros
Fabulous.
and cons. There are people that may not have all the money, but there are people that could probably afford a canvas print, right? And they're
Yeah.
bored.
Yeah.
Everyone is home, everybody looking who wanna rearrange. And they still had people that making money. You
Yeah,
still
oh
had
yeah,
people making money.
oh yeah.
Like I have friends selling $20,000 paintings and stuff still, so it worked out.
Wow. And you've mentioned it on about 3 or 4 occasions now. So I have to ask, tell us a little bit about your faith, because clearly it
Oh,
is really, really important to
I
you.
mean, I'm not a nun, guys, but I'm not a nun. I'm not. I believe life is about balance, but I do believe that we are the architects of our life. We
Mm-hmm.
are. I feel like if anyone could do anything, some people think I'm crazy, but that's just my belief. I do nothing without, you know, praying and knowing that it's mine.
Yeah.
That's just
Wow.
how I live my life. So I'm not gonna be like, God, please, I need an apartment. I need an apartment. I didn't do that. I said,
Mm-hmm.
God, I know you have my back. Thank you for my brand new apartment. Thank you for the wonderful connections and my career. And I keep myself in that mood. But
Wow.
I do the work.
You got to do the work.
Got to do the
You
work.
can't sit down and pray and wait for it to land in your lap. I mean, some
Very
people,
true.
and this manifestation culture as well, you manifest. Yeah, but you have to do the work though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand that? So I will say that my career is built wildly on faith.
Wow. That's
That's
fabulous.
great.
Amazing.
Wildly.
You, you've
So
you've worked with some, I guess, celebrities, I suppose you might say,
oh,
and what have you. Um, I just wanted to, how did the journey prepare you to walk into that space? Did you feel ready? Did you feel overwhelmed?
um again going back to how we grew up in the Caribbean, very humble. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad was in Carnival, year round, the Caribbean celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
you since you're
Okay.
I like
small,
that. I like you said that.
Marshall, stuff like that. He actually helped, you know, launch my career actually with a piece I did for him. He spoke when I won my award, um, and stuff like that. But they're human though. They're just
Agreed.
people. You
Agreed.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's how I move. When I did the piece for Bobby Brown, he was such a cool, humble, nice person. Despite what people see in the media.
I
He
come
held
around to
my
Bobby
hand.
Brown over the years, you know. I'm a big Bobby Brown.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the first one of his first albums I bought,
Yeah.
actually. Don't Be Cruel album I
Okay.
got there in LP.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's
Had
coming
a
on
haircut
your
and
show
thing.
actually, and he came up to me and he told me thank you, and
Not even kidding.
he was crying, and yeah,
Yeah.
he
I like
cried
Bobby Brown,
because
man.
I did the portrait of him and I put all his kids' names, nicknames at the
Okay.
back of it. Two of
Wow.
his children are deceased, so
Yeah. Yeah. It's
it
Yeah.
was
really
a
sad.
good moment.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I always just be myself. I just be myself, guys. That's basically it.
Wow.
Good, good. I
And
like
they're
that.
intrigued about it good, but they are actually intrigued about just that. It intrigues them, the Caribbean culture.
But what are
We
some of the words that your family says to you about your success? What are some of the words that they use?
uh um They're proud of me. My
Mm-hmm.
mom, she's like, I'm proud to be a mother. My father, he, I think I get my tenacity from him.
Okay.
He never gives up.
Wow.
Very, um, he always tells me I could do anything. Anything I want to do, I could do. They're just supportive, they're happy for my growth, my cousins, everyone, they're
Mm-hmm.
happy to
Mm-hmm.
see the fact that I'm fulfilling our grandmother's legacy, things that she did not get a chance to do when she was alive. I am doing for her. So I'm fulfilling her and mine. And it
Mm.
feels great,
Yeah,
Excellent,
that's
excellent.
to
fabulous.
do that.
We've had a couple of people in the audience ask about the piece that's behind you.
There she is.
Yes. And if you can tell us the story
Guard your
about
heart.
Guard Your Heart. Yeah.
Guard your heart is, comes from the Proverbs, as you could see, if you could read it out, because I
Yep.
can't see.
Above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23.
Yes.
Strong.
And that's one of my
I like it.
favorite uh scriptures, because the fact that everything you do, and it really depends on the person you are, when you are a giver, when you are a passionate person, when you do things kindly, probably we don't live in that much of a kind world, at times, that you just have to guard your heart. You have to preserve your heart, preserve your mind, you know, when you're doing certain things, and that goes across the board,
Yeah.
relationships, life.
Wow.
So
It's
it,
strong.
it is a woman holding her heart,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the butterflies and the spears.
What's it made out of? Is
Oh,
it just
this is
paint?
crushed glass. No, no,
Crushed
no.
glass.
It's
Oh, okay.
it's many, many layers actually.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
paint, it's crushed glass. I have cowrie shells in her hair. I handcrafted her earrings from scratch. So that's gems, feathers,
Gosh.
material. So I made a whole cowrie shell headband for her. Sorry, out of gold, metal, and cowrie shells. But
Oh
you
well.
can't really see it in the picture, but it's
Yeah.
it's very extremely detailed.
How long did it take?
Oof, how long did that take? It probably, I think, 2 weeks,
Two
two
weeks.
to
Wow.
three weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah,
That's fast. I didn't expect
because
you to
I
say two to
I'll
three weeks.
finish.
Yeah.
No, well, let me tell you, when you're doing stuff over and over and over, you tend to
Mm-hmm.
get quicker and
Yeah.
quicker and
Yeah.
quicker,
Yeah.
with what you're doing. The thing is, because I am in demand now, I have to, spread it
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
commissions because I'll get burnt out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
Agree.
last time when I got sick and I was flat in bed
Oh, wow.
Ah.
from working, 16 hours a day, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot.
Tell us about the
Yeah.
butterfly element of this piece, actually.
I mean, the butterfly, you start off as a caterpillar and then you become a butterfly, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Is that the
signifying that.
original? Is that the original behind you, or is that a print?
No, this is an original. I
That's the
am not
original.
doing
Okay.
prints. I don't do prints of all of my work.
Okay.
Mainly because I like the original experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I like my clients to have that. I like to do one-off at times,
Ah.
Yeah.
especially
Cool.
when it's a deep piece like this.
Mm.
That's just me, though. A lot of
Yeah.
artists don't agree, but that's just
No.
me.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, this piece
And
is
it
obviously.
has a 3D effect. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was just
Go on.
reading
Go
what
on.
you said.
Yeah.
It does have 3D effect because of the crushed glass. When light hits it from different angles, it will sparkle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna
This
say
piece is.
Phil?
I was just gonna say this piece is obviously very, very dear to you. But have you ever had a piece that you started and it wasn't going exactly where you wanted it to go, and
Yes,
although you had already done quite a bit on it, you decided to throw it in the bin and start over?
yes, yes. My
Okay.
crazy self. I've done that before. I've done no, because when you have a particular image in your head, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange because you want it to come out like that. Like with the big Nefertiti piece that I did, that headpiece, I did over 3 times
Mm.
because I had, I hand sewed it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
around. I don't know if he has the image, but that took time. That took a lot of time because when I did the headpiece, it was looking lopsided, and I was like, "Oh hell no!
Mm.
I need to do over,
I need it.
you
Yeah.
know, And then this wasn't sticking, and I'm a very particular, detailed person.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm.
when I'm doing with my sculptures, I
Mm.
usually use a tweezer. I'm using a tweezer and putting down each gem,
Yeah,
so it
well.
takes time. I
Wow.
mean, every
I haven't
artist
got
had
that
that
piece.
experience.
Have you ever had a piece that commissioned and the client probably you can see in the face they ain't vibing, you know?
You know what? Thank God I never got that.
Not yet. Okay,
But
that's good.
I never got that. But I have gotten, I mean, humans are so hilarious sometimes.
They are.
They will say, I want this colorful like this. Ma'am, are you sure you want it colorful like
Mm,
that?
mm, mm, mm.
When I did it colorful, I don't
That's
like
not
the
what I
red.
wanted.
Why it's so
Yeah, you get the
colorful?
side head. You get like,
Yeah, yeah. Why? I don't like the red. Why it's so colorful? I was like, you know what? Before I lay down all the extra stuff,
yeah, yeah,
when I
yeah.
painted, let me show you. But, and then I had an experience where a client was like, no, I want, this was so hilarious. He was like, no, my wife and I want the sun reddish brown and this and that. I said, listen, if I painted that way, it would not look good with the water and the sky, because it's a sort of a sunset kind of image.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
They did not take my advice. And when
Yeah.
I did it
Shut up. Shut
as they
up.
wanted, then they were like, "Oh, yeah, your way was better." Well, of course, I'm the creative, but I left you. This is for you, so I want you
Mm.
to be happy and satisfied
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
allow people to make their mistakes,
Mm.
Wow.
and then they say, "Okay, okay, fine, well then,"
Mm.
you know.
I like
So
it.
that's what
One, th-
happens, and then,
no, no, I was going to say one thing we didn't ask was about the award. You mentioned it earlier, but we didn't ask actually what was the award.
the
We label you as
Vanguard
award
Award
winning.
for
Mm.
Yeah, the Vanguard Award for Excellence in Art. That
Mm-hmm.
was for the Institute of the Caribbean Studies in DC. I
Right.
won that for Trinidad, and then Black Excellence Award for Excellence in Art here,
Mm-hmm.
which was a small award, but the big one was the Vanguard Award. Marshall Montano won it before, so he spoke for me.
Oh,
Amazing.
When
Amazing.
I got it,
Any plans
I
to
was
do
good.
any plans to do any shows in the Caribbean?
I would love to. I am open to new possibilities. Um, right now, I really want to fulfill certain commitments here in the States
Mm-hmm.
to reach a certain point whereby I could help out other creatives to transition.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a program like that because there are so many creatives in the Caribbean, but they don't have opportunities. They don't know where to start. They don't
yeah,
know where
Mm.
to go.
it's
They
true.
Yeah.
could do it my way, but I don't think I would love anyone to go through
Mm.
that. If I could
Mm.
Yeah.
make it easier, I will
No, I agree.
for others because
No,
nobody wants to do
that's
that.
great.
Alongside that, do you also think you're inspiring other mixed media artists as well?
I wouldn't say just mixed media. I will say artists across the board. I
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of artists, younger
Mm.
artists, female artists in particular, that message me, and I may mentor one or two artists as well along the journey
Well,
because
the
it's
reason I
not
asked
only
about mixed media in particular is I get the sense is it might not be that popular as an art form, at least from my perspective. But
no,
I'm
it's
not in the field.
extremely popular.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
extremely, extremely popular. They have a lot of glass artists. They have so many mixed media artists doing really, really different things.
Mm-hmm.
No one builds a entire headpiece on a piece though, but
Yeah.
Mm.
they're out there. I know many,
Wow.
Okay.
Well, like
many.
you talk about being inspired and inspiring other people, and I wonder if you can tell us a bit about this piece actually,
I mean, how
and
could
what
I
this
not?
piece.
How could I not paint her though? How could I not paint
Mm-hmm.
Miss Motley? Like I would be doing myself a great injustice. This is a woman that is changing a lot of things. A Caribbean woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
As a
Mm-hmm.
Trinidadian, I wish I could adopt her. Don't quote
Oh,
me. Don't quote me on that.
hey, that's
Don't
just
quote me
that's
on
just between you and
that.
us in the living room. Nobody else.
Please.
And,
Everyone else is
and
about to
everybody else
say.
watching this on.
I'm
You
about
hear
to
what
say,
Rowley said?
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I don't want Rowley to send me a letter, guys.
And what's this
included?
one made of?
Yeah, yeah.
That is also
Tough
that has
glass.
diamond dust, crushed glass,
Mhm.
paint, you know, with
Beautiful.
that
Has she
image.
seen it?
I'm not sure, you know. I know
Yeah.
it has been reposted on the social media and stuff like that. But whoever purchases it, I hope she does see it. I am hoping it's someone from Barbados eventually will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's such a powerful image as well.
It's great.
If you see it in person, I mean, you cannot miss it.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Definitely
like it.
can't. But
And how long
she's
did
amazing.
that one take you?
That one took me a month and a half
Oh wow.
That's a,
because I was doing things. Listen, I had so much faith in her winning that election. I was like, Mia, you better bring this home because I am patient. You better bring this home, Mia. I don't have time. You better get this together. So I was like timing it, and that's
Ah,
what she won. So here we
nice.
go. Because I was working in between projects too. So
yeah, I feeling it. I feeling
yeah.
it.
And then, you know, a friend of mine who's also an artist as well, he was like, you know, she does represent my brand and what I stand for,
Hmm.
you know, in terms of, you know, women and that strength and, you know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you've captured her extremely
I
well.
think so. Space between the teeth and all. I think.
Yeah. Nice
It's in the
signature.
details. It's
I
in the
feeling it. Oh,
details.
Andrew said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
The
feeling it.
split eyes with the glasses. Yes, I had to
Yeah.
get all those, you
All the
know,
way down to the
because when
chin.
you're doing portraits, there are specific features on a person
Mm-hmm.
that you know is them, you know, that identifies them. That's a signature right there. The
Yeah, yeah,
face,
yeah,
the glasses, you know, the
yeah.
hair. That's how you
Right.
know you see her coming. So I
Indeed,
said I have to capture all of that, and I wore my
indeed.
blue to represent as well.
I
I
see it.
see.
I
Yeah.
see it. So,
Pictures.
along with Miss Motley, is Barbados then one of your favorite places as well? Just
I
asking.
love Barbados. Listen to me. I did
Okay.
Rihanna as well. I love
Mm.
Barbados. Yes, and I will be going back on vacation sometime
Oh,
soon.
You're always welcome. Always welcome. I was just
Thank you.
asking.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Just, just asking.
no, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you see yourself going next in your journey? Because clearly, you know, you said it's a very popular industry. You're out
The thing
there.
about it is my life to me is so spontaneous. You know,
Mm.
I have a vision of where I want to be,
Mhm.
but I'm a living testament of, you know, I make plans, God laugh, he have jokes, because I thought at 26 I might have my own advertising agency with 3 children and married. Here I am, being a full-time mixed media artist. So I
Mm.
don't really, you know, things
Mm.
change so rapidly. But right now I really want to continue growing my brand in terms of art, probably do a little thing with the fashion
Mhm.
because I do incorporate that with my images as well.
Mm.
Do more, you know, more speaking engagements and programs
Okay.
for young girls because art is nice, but I also want to contribute in teaching them the business,
Of
Mm.
course.
No,
how
and
to
speak.
actually be an entrepreneur in this
Mhm.
business,
Mm-hmm.
No, I like it. And
you
speaking
know.
of business as well, Jennifer
Good
was
question from
asking
Jenny.
about
Yeah.
intellectual property. Have you ever had any issues? How do you go about protecting what is yours?
Oh well, I have my legal team, staff, you know,
Mm.
in LA, you know, and here too. I don't do anything without a lawyer.
Mm.
Nothing. You know, it is very important that you protect yourself,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no,
um,
100%.
your image and everything else, your artwork. You know, in this social media age, people take your images and do all sorts of things, put it on T-shirts and just,
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy.
Yeah. You know, places that you didn't
especially in
expect you would
China
be.
and these
Yeah.
places, especially in China and these places. I have a couple of friends that right now fighting, you know, for that. And sometimes you know, you can't trace them because they're so good. They shut down this one, they go to the
Yes,
next one. It's
true.
just,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy. So, yeah. So
Wow.
it's a lot. I have a lot of things that I cannot speak of
Of course.
No, that's
yet,
fine. That's fine.
but I reassure you guys that there's a lot of game changers in the
Ooh.
works, you know.
All right.
So
So
we gotta have you back then. You sound like you're saying you gotta have me back at some point in time to
Yeah.
talk
you
about
gotta
these
have
things.
me back, you know, check me back at the end of the year.
At the end of the
Yeah.
year,
We'll have more to
we
think
Pencil
about.
in, pencil in.
we can do that. We can do
We got
that.
a pencil that in I don't know how possible it is to really get programs going throughout the Caribbean for creatives. And I'm speaking about, you know, not only painters, but any sort of creative, poets and writers. Like, I really want to see that happening. But
We did a sh- we did
hopefully
the
it will.
we did the show on creatives. Oh gosh, must have been last year. Bro.
About a year ago now,
Yeah, yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably yeah. Yeah. There's some
Yeah,
fabulous
the
things
young
happening across
creators
the
to
region.
get their young creators to get their foot in the door. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And sorry, if they're moving to another country, I want to prepare them for
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
They need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
You
understand the
know,
business of
so they could
transitioning.
understand the
Yeah.
business, they could understand the transition, the
The
lifestyle, the
transition.
life.
Yes.
You know, it's
Yes.
a whole different atmosphere, and
It's a
that's not
huge
to
step up.
scare anyone. You
It's
Yeah.
a
know,
huge step up.
it's
Exactly. Because
yeah,
I can't imagine
yeah,
stepping off at, say, JFK, getting down into New York City and just going like, where do I start?
yeah.
You
Overwhelming.
know?
And I remember when I came here, I was in Kennesaw, which was very far. It was just insane. But the thing about it is, I'm happy I made that decision because I would have been in Trinidad, still questioning myself,
Mm. Mm.
overcome with fear, scared
Yeah.
to do it, you know. And I was like, you know what?
Step
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
it's
just
time
gotta
to
step
step
out.
out. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
time to step out, and it is the scariest, craziest thing, but it's always the best thing.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you, Andrea, because
So
you're there in Atlanta. You're making it. You're doing your art, but a lot of what you're talking about now is already sewing back into other people and inspiring
Yeah.
other people and bringing up young people.
Yeah.
Is that because you are so aware of what people have sewn into you, or is there something
yeah,
else that's stirring that?
and also trial and error. I mean, the best lesson in life is experience. You know, you
Mm.
you know, you naturally cannot be protected from everything. You have to make your mistake. You have to fall and
Mm.
get yourself back up. If there's someone always catching you, then how are you gonna learn?
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was very independent from an early age, but sometimes you know you could be a little naive to the world
Yeah.
and to people, and you know what I'm saying. So you have to have that sharp street sense.
Mm.
You know, and I love
I
to
like that.
learn. I love to work with young people as well. So it's necessary, especially females, to know that listen, any opportunity that's right for you is not going to harm your integrity, your dignity. If
Mm.
Yeah.
you do not feel good after that, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Because
the point.
anything that's meant to you, anything that's meant for you will flow.
Wow.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
you know, yeah. So there's just a couple life lessons, you
Got
know,
it. Yeah.
self-esteem and all these different things that because social media could make you feel all types of ways,
Oh boy.
you know. So I just want to build up these, you know, the young generation growing up, let them know, listen, be authentic. The right people are gonna come to you. Just by you being authentic, gonna shine because everyone doing this and that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
gotta stand out in your own truth. So yeah.
One of the things that we have realized over our 2 years here having these conversations is what a hotbed of creativity Trinidad is, you know, as a place of art
It
and
is.
just fabulously creative. But do you think it is recognized and respected at the level that it should be?
You really want Rowley to call me on the phone?
Listen,
No,
let him call you, man.
please
Let him
don't
call
call
you.
me.
Don't be frightened.
Rowley, don't be angry. But I feel like if we put more passion into cricket,
Mm.
we put more passion into soca artists.
Mm,
We do not put passion into creators, painters like that.
mm,
And yes, there are a few successful ones, but they do not, to me, because I know they have little grants and stuff like that. They don't do enough. Why don't we have? What about back in the day before they sent costumes to be made in China, when you used to sit down in these mass camps and see these young people bending wire and getting that experience?
mm,
Why don't we have workshops like that? Why aren't they investing in that?
mm.
You know, creative writing and stuff like that. They have people that could write for top movies, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
just thinking
Yeah, you're
aloud.
right.
I just find that they put more money into sports and
Yeah.
music than anything else.
But that's a Caribbean thing too. I mean, that's something that we've
It
been
is a
saying all the
Caribbean
time.
thing.
It right across
Here
the
and here
region.
I am, and
Yeah,
here
yeah.
I am.
Hey, exactly,
Here I am.
exactly. Right across
So
the
this
region.
is me. Like my
Mm,
dream is really to mold people, because like there's so many things that creative people, they have some kids that they mightn't be academically inclined, but they're so great with their hands. They're so
mm,
Yeah.
creative, and they can make a life off of that. There are
mm,
Absolutely.
carpenters that make more money than doctors.
mm-hmm.
They are, you know what I'm saying? There are people that are very creative, so they need to invest in that.
I agree. But it's a beyond government investing or what have you. It's a Caribbean mindset though when it comes to
Of
the fine
course,
arts though,
of
isn't it?
course. And this is where I am though.
Yeah.
And then when I came here, I think I open up eyes to a lot of people and possibilities. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? By doing what I'm doing. Like when I got signed to Hallmark Mahogany as one of the influencers and artists to do their red carpet high-end event.
Mm,
Me.
mm,
I had a show. The vice president of Mahogany, Hallmark, saw me on LinkedIn.
mm,
She said when she saw that picture, she was like, "Who is this woman?" I
mm,
was dressed in the blue dress, and it was a blue piece of a woman in water behind me. I was sitting on this couch,
mm,
and I took that picture. I had an exhibition, and she came. When she came, I didn't know who she was. But you know how we are warm people. So I was
Yes.
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah.
how are you? Stuff. And we started to talk. She's like, you're my best friend in my head and whatnot. I've been following you for months. And I was like, okay. All this time, I have no idea who she is, right?
mm.
Just being myself. At the end of the full conversation, she was like, okay, well, I'm the vice president of Hallmark. I was like, what? I was just shocked out of my mind. And she was
Wow.
like, I love your spirit. I want to work with you.
Wow.
And that
Mm.
was the start of something. That was me
Brilliant.
just being myself.
Okay.
That was just an opportunity that came to me. That's why I always tell artists, you do your best work. Do your best work. Even if you get 2 likes, you do your best work and
That's it.
continue to
That's
be
it.
consistent.
Indeed.
Because there are
Oh, no, I
people
love
that
it.
are looking at you.
I
There are
love it.
people that have been watching me for months that I don't even know. And
Yeah.
one day I just get a message, hey, you want to do this X, Y, and Z? No problem. But like I said, the possibilities are endless. Now, if I had that formal training of how to, you know, do my taxes as an artist, do this, do that, whatnot, I would
Mm.
have been more prepared, wouldn't I? I would
Yes.
Mm.
have been more
Fair.
developed,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And look, I won 2 awards for Trinidad,
Mm.
just like
Yeah.
that,
Yes.
right? These are things that they should be supporting.
Yeah.
Mm. Agreed.
Programs, you know, um, uh, different programs and grants to get young creatives a little experience. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because there's greatness right down the street in South.
Indeed. Experience and just
In a,
readiness.
right in
Hunger.
a one
Yeah.
bedroom, thinking that this is all your life is about, and no, there's a whole entire world out there
Mm.
that you
Mm.
could experience.
Yeah. And some ground level work can help you be prepared, as you say, you know, There's just some
Of
aspects of
course.
it because you never know if and when it's gonna happen,
You
where
don't
it's gonna
know. You
happen.
don't
But
know.
if you got some grounding and some basic understanding, you can be ready for it in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You
But I
know.
do understand my culture. So I didn't
Mm,
take offense to that. I just
mm,
knew that, okay, I want bigger, I want better, and this is
Mm-hmm.
what I have to do because showing is knowing, and that I don't mind showing.
mm,
So now that and my Trini people, my Caribbean people, they support me all the time.
No,
I
that's
can't
good.
mm.
even
That's good.
complain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have a lot of Caribbean collectors.
No, I'm really pleased to hear that
So
because that's something that we as Caribbean people need to make sure that we are staying in the games and
One hundred
Mm-hmm.
making sure
percent.
Mm-hmm.
we are visible in the support
Agreed.
because we
yeah,
want
I,
our
I
people out there.
cannot I can't be winning an American award before my country acknowledge me. That's
Acknowledge.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I'm
again,
saying?
unfortunately, in the region, we wait until our owner recognize outside
We
before
don't. We
we
don't.
we recognize them,
Yeah.
or
Because the dream seems crazy to them.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, so I hope that even with that happening, the good that might come out of it is that the recognition that perhaps we should plow some money and some effort into growing the homegrown talent that you
Mm-hmm.
I'm
have.
hoping that they do. I mean, I'm hoping to be an art ambassador someday, probably if that exists,
Hmm.
because yeah, I really want to get that in motion. You will be surprised.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
know a
yeah.
couple,
Mhm.
young artists in the islands, and their work is fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous, but they just don't think. The idea of stepping out of that safe zone is scary to them, and I don't
Hmm.
blame them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, you're seriously inspirational, Andrea.
Indeed.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
Indeed. Love it.
Yeah,
I am
I
sure.
appreciate you guys just
No,
having me here, you
no,
know.
I am sure. I want to ask you about one more piece before we
Sure.
conclude, and it's just really because we've kind of flagged these on our advert
Oh,
for the show, the 3D
my 3D
sculpture
pieces.
pieces. Yeah,
Yeah.
tell us a bit
Hmm.
about these actually.
I mean, I was doing a show last year, and the person asked me about 3D pieces, and I was like, sure, I never really tried it, but I knew I could do it. I mean, if you could build a costume, you could do it. That's how I
Hmm.
thought.
True.
You could do a
Yeah.
3D
Yeah.
piece, like why not? So I jumped on it and I started. And the first piece I did was the this red one.
Hmm.
And when I posted it, it was everyone went crazy. So I was
Oh,
like, okay. And then I did another one, and I was having a discussion with my father, and he was like, why don't you mirror one of the things that you used to do, or one of the creations we made?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Carnival, they use a lot of
Hmm.
jewels, and it's like your whole body sometimes
Hmm.
covered in stuff. So I decided to do that. And then people are just loving it. They love the mixture of it and the jewels and how I construct everything. So when I presented it to the show last year, it was a big hit. It's currently in a show, the same opening of the show I did yesterday.
Hmm.
So you'll be seeing more of those things
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
pretty
yeah,
soon.
yeah, they're
It's
absolutely
different,
outstanding.
and it's very eye-catching as well.
Yeah, I love it.
Am I
Completely love it.
mistaken, or did I see some of your work that you had incorporated LEDs and lighting and light as well?
hmm If I incorporated LED lighting, I didn't hear what you said.
LEDs and lights. I think I saw some stuff that I saw come up on LinkedIn where you had sort of included actually
Oh, when I
small
put the
lights.
piece and I put certain lights in to reflect.
Hmm.
So when the camera is moving, the crushed glass bounce off to see
Ah, right.
the
That's what happened. That was the
to see
effect.
the effect.
Okay.
Yeah,
It wasn't that you had
effect.
the lights
So
embedded into the artwork.
no, no,
No.
Okay.
they're just shining on the artwork.
Okay.
Like
Hmm.
a piece a client bought from me. He has a lot of natural light in his home, like
Right.
huge windows. So when he put up the piece, you know, it just bounces off of it. Looked
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
was
like
good.
it.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
And I think Kemi has probably just summed it up there absolutely amazingly. You know, you
Oh,
your
thank you,
story.
Kemi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've seen someone, sorry,
yeah,
writing, and
yeah, yeah.
but
Your story is one that a lot of our creatives need to hear, because it takes courage to do what you have done, and not only do it, because doing it is one thing, but then sustaining it is another. You know,
Very true. Very true.
Consistency.
You need to.
Gotta be consistent.
You got to be consistent.
Absolutely.
100%. That's the key. And sometimes we don't necessarily, we can get caught up in if you only get 1 or 2 likes over 6 months. That's the thing. And not recognizing,
Of
as you say,
course,
people are
naturally,
watching.
because this is, you know, in the age of social media and you know, the facade and this and that. But I will tell you, when I got back on LinkedIn, because I wasn't on LinkedIn before, and I was like, you know what, LinkedIn is a business platform. Let me give my energy to that. So I started, and then I don't know, it just started to go up and go up and go up. You know,
Fair enough.
even if I got 2 likes or 3 shares, people were still looking. Some people will not like your stuff, you know, but they're looking, they're paying attention.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So
about the
you're
who's looking as well,
consistent,
because you
and
don't know
suddenly-
who.
But you don't know. I swear to you, I've had companies and people say, "Oh, I've been looking at your stuff for 8 months now."
Wow.
Some of these companies, when you're representing their brand and stuff, they want to see how you post and what you post.
Yeah.
They don't want anyone crazy representing their brand.
Exactly.
You have to know how to speak and how to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was shocked even with Mark, when they were like, "Yeah, we looked at all your pages, everything. We had to do a thorough investigation." I was like, "Whoa, whoa." And I didn't even know
Yeah.
they existed at that time. I was
Indeed.
like, "Me?" You know, because you just in your head and flowing. You don't know who's looking. All it
Agree.
takes is one referral, one
Agree.
person to like you. You know,
Yeah.
if you have a nice, and that's why I told another artist recently, I said, "Listen, you have good work and you're a nice person. Be a nice person. Don't let the world change you, because that is the quality in which someone will be attracted to you. No one wants to work with someone that's hard to work with. Or
No, I
doesn't
agree.
have a nice
100%.
persona.
True.
Nobody wants a headache. You continue to be you."
100% right. Fabulous. Fabulous.
So
Agree.
yeah,
Fantastic
I've
stuff.
been
Really,
there when
really
I
like that.
started off. I used to get 10 likes, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep on going. You cannot beat someone that doesn't give up. They're always in your face.
Yeah, true.
Eventually, you're gonna
Yeah.
be like, "Oh God, all right, okay, let me."
And it's a journey, right? Because sometimes you can focus on the person who, the way our social media is, you can focus on the folks getting, you know, hundreds of likes and shares and what have you. But you're seeing that person now. You didn't necessarily see the journey that they went on.
Of
And
course,
you've got to
then you're
recognize
not
that
seeing
you've
the
got your own journey to
substance.
go on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah,
not
the
seeing them
joys
when they're
in the
turning up.
journey.
Yeah, you're not
No,
seeing them when they're turning
I-
up on the live with one person.
Exactly.
I mean, at this point in my life, I look back and I laugh at myself. I'm like, why were you crying? Like, why were you threatening to pack yourself to, you know, pack up your stuff? And it's all part of the journey. And that's
Yeah.
the best part,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah,
to look back
agreed.
and be proud of yourself.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Really enjoy this conversation. Thanks for
I
stopping by the
enjoy
living
you
room,
all too,
Andrew.
all 3 of you.
Really enjoy it.
I
Really
feel like you
enjoy
all
it.
are here with some, you
Hanging
know,
out.
rum and orange juice or something. Some
Water. Just saying,
some
water.
rum punch. Some rum punch, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. Water. But it's been fantastic having you, Andrea. Thank you for stopping by. We gotta pencil in the end of the year. You've kind of watered our lips there now. Got to smack in what's happening. Something is brewing.
Yeah, she slipped
So you-
in meeting
Something
with the
is
VP of
brewing,
Hallmark.
you know?
Yeah. She's slipping a
No,
few
no,
little
no,
nuggets there. She's
besides
slipping some
that,
nuggets.
besides
Yeah.
that. That's who I did the Bobby Brown with last year, that collaboration. Besides that, there are some other, you know, good stuff that I'm excited about. So I would love to, you know, have a next
Yes,
recap with
very
you
good.
guys.
No, and it's really important for us to, you know, just thank you, because, you know, Andrea, it's important that we have our own people coming and having a conversation so we can
Yes,
understand what they're
yes.
doing. So just thank you so much for taking
I'm
the
happy
time
for that.
to do it.
It's
Really,
been amazing.
Really, really appreciate it.
Really appreciate. I love this conversation. Thanks a lot, Andrea, for stopping
No
by.
problem, guys. Thank you so much.
All
It's
right.
been
You have a
amazing.
great Sunday. I'm going
You
to
too.
cook my pilau.
Oh. No, you see
I'm
now
going to
you.
finish cook my
This is another
pilau.
half hour now. This is another half hour. You start talking
Oh,
about
You know
food.
the one
oh
pot,
dear.
the quick pot. We gotta cook that island food on the
You
Sunday.
what you putting in this pillow? This is
That's it's just a chicken pilau. Something
chicken
quick.
pillow.
Chicken.
I'm not doing plenty today.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Okay.
just
Okay.
doing a little
Yeah.
chicken pilau, a little
Phil was gonna
coleslaw,
give you some
whatever.
advice there just now.
I
What?
always for
Resident
the advice.
resident
Phil?
cook.
What?
Resident
Always
cook.
Phil?
for advice.
What do you have for me?
Well, there's something I started doing instead of putting the pillow in the pot, put it in the oven.
What?
Put it in the oven.
Phil, I mean, let me tell you. Phil, listen.
It
Let
is
me tell
pillow.
you.
Baked
Tell him
rice.
there, Andrea.
Tell
Tell
him
him.
pilau.
Baked
No,
rice.
but I'm going to laugh. You know why? Because my mother loves to do that. She loves to start it on top and then put it in the oven
Put it in the
below.
oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she loves to do it. But me, you're getting no. In that
You,
pot on top. We're not doing no oven business. Quick pot on top and then we're done with that. I don't have time for all the intrigues for
all of that.
macaroni pie, yeah. You steam
Ooh.
chicken and
Macaroni pie, and I
Yep.
take it you do it the Bajan way, right? No offense to any Trinidadians do macaroni pie. We have this conversation with
yeah,
Trinis all
but
the time.
don't we cook similar though?
Hmm.
Okay. That's a good. That's
Not
a good
macaroni
Do
pie.
we?
That's a
Like
good
we
thing.
how do you all make it? How do you well, I'm cutting into your time, but still.
No.
it doesn't
Listen,
matter.
listen. We good. We good.
We good.
How do Bajans make macaroni pie?
But
Though?
there's a lot to go into. I would just say that ours is kind of be slightly better.
You see the you see the island rivalry. I saw rivalry between Jamaican curry and Trinidadian curry
Ooh.
last week. I'm like, oh my god.
We had that we had that a couple of years ago. It was Trini curry, Guyanese. Well, no roti. It was Trini,
Roti.
Guyanese, and Surinamese roti.
You
Big
know
fight in the
Trini
living
is
room
the
one
best
time.
roti. You know Trini is the best roti. Let's not even go there.
See, I like Guyanese
You
roti
know
though.
Trini is the best. No, you can't do that. Our
You see,
roti is soft and fluffer though.
Well, look, there's a pretty roti woman in Brixton that is something else, man.
Yeah,
You
she good, but I like
Good.
Guyanese roti. Guyanese roti's got different.
Yes, Angela, I am putting squash in the pilau because
There you
I
go.
can't find pumpkin. So I have to do that because, I usually swap the pumpkin with the squash. I have to
Yeah.
do that.
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't get a
yes.
chance to go to the Caribbean store. So here we
Okay.
are. Have
Here
to
we
make it
are.
work.
Yeah, there you
Make
go.
it work. Gotta make it work. I must have that Caribbean food. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My callaloo and.
Hmm?
Well, before you go, Andrea, we just want to remind people where they can find you. across
Indeed.
the web.
Yes, love the
You know?
picture you chose. Thank you.
Hey.
Let me just say you're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, go and follow Andrea's page on Facebook, follow her on Instagram, connect with her on LinkedIn, and go have a look on her website. It's all there. And you will
On
enjoy
all
it.
amazing stuff.
You've got all this stuff.
Thank
available
you
to
so much.
No problem
And
at all.
I think that's what I'm seeing. Check me out on social media.
Will
sure.
do. For sure.
Absolutely.
Andrea, so
You
if
all
you're giving
giving Andrea dinner.
We gotta
next time, end of the year. End of the year.
next thing, end of the year, for real, end of the year for
Wow.
celebration,
Hey.
celebration.
Hey.
Bring a
End
pot
of
of
the year
corn.
be
Be
eating.
Christ.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. No, to incorporate the celebration for what's happening.
Yeah,
Yes.
We can do a cook up.
indeed.
Yes. For sure.
Indeed, for sure.
Trade recipes.
Indeed.
Andrea, bring the lettuce.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what you all reduced me to, a bowl of lettuce.
That would be incorporated. Incorporated.
Yeah.
We could do better than that, man.
We can do a lot better. Don't
We
worry.
could do a lot better than
A lot better. Andrea, thanks a lot for stopping by.
that. Okay, thank you guys.
Take care, well.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Brilliant.
Fantastic conversation. Love that.
Yeah, that's great.
Love the connection with home, the mentorships, the journey, never giving up. So many themes
Grounded,
and stuff in there,
Very grounded.
The
Very
Caribbean grounding, that doesn't change. Really, 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 really good. Lots of stuff coming out there.
I feel so inspired just listening to her and how she's so desirous to just give back,
Mm-hmm.
And I love that she's really authentic about it. oh, look, guys, this has been difficult. It was hard. I was in tears at times. Sometimes things went completely wrong. But, here I am. And I love
Yeah.
that she's got a very strong faith that underpins what she is doing as well.
Yeah.
Fabulously inspirational. It really is.
Yeah, because not everyone likes to talk about the journey,
No.
Is,
no.
is and sometimes not everybody wants to hear about the journey either, because
Yeah.
and I think people always need to hear about the journey. Otherwise, sometimes young people, or just people in general, don't let me put it on young people, could think that things gonna happen quickly. Social media, put a few things up and it's gonna happen because why, my things are great, and, what have you. But there's a journey, there's a process that we all got to go through.
And it's a conversation that we have between the three
Thank
of
you,
us
Jennifer.
a lot, because we often say, and I think a lot of this is due to our American influence in the Caribbean. We get presented with things that are done. We don't
true.
see journey. And I feel sometimes we don't fully appreciate that if you're now starting out and you want to do a live and you got 4 people watching, you got to be consistent and stay in it.
You got to keep
Because
doing
in
it.
5 years time, if you want to get to where you're trying to get to, you got to go through those stages. But we don't really like journey so much. We like things final and finished so we can get in and go.
I think a lot of that is a wider implications as to how we consume stuff in the region as well. Whether and this might sound crazy, but even the fact that we bring in a lot of stuff already done, not
Yeah.
necessarily creating from idea, manufacturing, and watching those things build. Of course, yes, we do in certain instances, but I mean in a larger scale. And that kind of just feeds into the mentality of, I want it done. I want it now. That kind of stuff, and not necessarily going through the ups and downs of the ebb and flow of that journey, winning and losing and winning again, that
Yes.
kind of stuff.
Yes, somebody just asked to put back up the socials and we just put that back on screen for us.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is as well, you learn from your failures, and you learn so much from your failures as well. And sometimes it's good to have some, so that you can learn from and know what to do next time and continue growing. I think that's good. Yeah, indeed, Valerie, indeed. But there are the socials there again, guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
And the broad rim.
Amazing.
Broad rim hat.
Yeah, I dig in the hat. The hat there, saying a lot. Feeling it. Indeed. Well, guys, thank you a lot for joining us here. Another episode in Live Room. As usual, if this is your first time and you haven't already, hit like, hit follow on all our social media, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Hit like, hit subscribe, ring the bell so that you can always be notified of our different shows and what have you. If you haven't already, hit share as well. It'd be great to have other people from across the region, from across the diaspora as well, to be part of today's conversation. It was great having you guys. Thanks a lot from Mark, Philip, and myself. Until next time.
Yep.
Good convo. Enjoy that.
Love it.